You are now listening to the number one podcast in Sabah.
Anda sedang mendengar Kinabalu Podcast.
I was gonna rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Praise be to Allah.
Coming to you live from Sabah. This is Kinabalu Podcast.
Yes, this podcast is brought to you exclusively by Johan, orang Kota Marudu tinggal Jepun.
Follow Johan's journey, promoting Aomori Japan on YouTube.
Yeah, subscribe, like and also share channel Lagu Dari Langit di YouTube. Cari pencarian, carilah kamu sana orang Kota Marudu tinggal Jepun punya playlist.
Yep, search for that and search www.kinabalupodcast.com today.
Kihoy!
Tiga lelaki, dua bapa, satu bujang. Podcast pertama paling di tiada kurang.
Di sama nombor satu yang lain boleh pulang. Info terkini tajuk best paling mana. Si Kado botak janggut lebat tiada lawan. Kenny ketawa boleh sampai pecah syawak. Si Faizal pula bagi pancaan lipat awak.
Kami training, kami ranking, jom jadi kawan. Dari yang dekat mari sini jangan jauh. Boleh kasih up, kasih gempa baru jago.
Jokes kami cool, lawak masuk cool. Kadang kami carut sama macam tiga Abdul. Come on everybody, let's move to the beat. Crack the volume up, dengar podcast tidak stupid.
Yeah.
Jangan jauh, mari kami bau. Ciao, bella, ciao, ciao, bella, ciao.
Selamat kembali ke podcast nombor 1 di Sabah. Saya Ricardo.
Selamat kembali, saya Kenny.
Season 9, episode 9. Apa ini 99? Ini nak syaitan punya kan ni?
Wah, 666 baru syaitan.
Oh, okay.
999 emergency.
Oh, kalau 99 saja?
99 kau ong lah.
Oh, kalau Cina kau lah.
Kau.
Okay. Macam lagu.
Kau ketawa sudah kan?
Don't do that, man. Saya memang hambur lah kalau itu. Kita masih lagi bersama dengan Syarizal.
Yes, sir.
This particular part, let's just talk about what is he doing here in Kota Marudu, bro.
Yeah.
Syarizal.
Yeah. Why are you here? No.
Kita segue siap. Let's talk about Kota Marudu. What do you know about Freemason? No, I'm just
Kota Marudu tapi Freemason.
saya sajalah macam beginilah. Macam kalau mau buat joke, this stupid joke yang selalu buat. Saya pun pernah buat dulu. So meaning tu saya stupid lah kan.
Iyalah, memang.
Macam saya duduk makan di kedai kan. Makan di kedai. Lepas tu
Style
Miss
Smart Sabah punya style ni. Saya
Miss
tahu.
ada Milo? Ada. Oh, tidak, dia bilang. Oh, okay. Kopi ada? Ada kopi. Kalau kita bagi Nestum Amin kau tanya lain tapi saya rasa kau order lain. Inilah Gen Z.
Kalau ini.
Ya, wah.
Tabiat betul loh.
Dulu lah itu joke zaman-zaman UMS lah, zaman-zaman uni back then 2000 punya kau masih kecil lagi lah kan.
Saya di sekolah menengah wah.
Well, Syarizal, welcome to the studio again. We would like to know what exactly you're doing in Kota Marudu.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Now, like you all know, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah,
This part
I
is
think-
okay. Carry on, man. Let's go. Whack it.
Selamat.
Yeah. We contesting lah. I mean,
Okay.
Of course, we want to fight for. We want the voice of Kota Marudu, especially the farmers and the locals, the golongan yang penelayan, all those things are close to my heart. But I want them
Alright.
to be heard in Parliament.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to fight about food security, about penore getah, about
Okay.
SME business, pejabat awam and all in Kota Marudu lah. I mean, Kota Marudu need a national attention lah. I mean, it hurt us bah when dia cakap one of the poorest district.
Itu betul.
Come on, man. I mean,
Kota Marudu kalau belum tahu nomor 1 podcast di Sabah dari Kota Marudu.
yeah, that's why. There's a lot of talented people here.
A lot.
But it hurt us when dia orang cakap the poorest state and nobody want to do something about it. Then I think we should do something about it lah. That's why saya bilang langgar sajalah. Saya bilang ya.
Rutan diorang
Well, we have to agree on the matter because of course lah, iyalah. Siapa pun boleh state kita adalah negara daerah yang miskin dan sebagainya.
Negara.
Iyalah, whatever it is lah. I mean, so bila kita kena cap miskin, what are you going to do with that?
True that.
Itu yang penting dia itu the
Are you
solution.
going to just say it or are you going to do something?
Yeah.
And apparently until now nothing has been done until now.
Yeah.
Itulah.
Yeah. So that is saya macam mana macam you born and bred here in Kota Marudu ni. Let's just talk about the problem in Kota Marudu lah.
Yes,
Not to objectify tapi the reality lah, the hard truth lah.
Yes.
of what is going on in Kota Marudu lah.
The hardest pill to swallow lah.
Ada lagi?
Ada lah.
The hardest what?
Saya diam siap lah.
no. I always like your sense of thought lah kan.
Yes. Yeah.
Alright.
Jangan.
Boleh buat buku.
Si kau ah.
Really boleh buat.
Mana?
Ya.
Buat buku tentang kau.
Syarizal, in Kota Marudu, our main problem kalau the youngsters lah, I think everybody lah, especially when they, macam kita zaman sekarang ni bayar pun guna online, macam everything pun macam cashless dan semua pun everything. Kau pergi Puspakom pun kau guna online everything. So our problem di Kota Marudu, one of it adalah the internet connection.
Yeah.
So kita ada bercerita of course juga pasal ni, just a 5 minutes away pun sudah kau out of nowhere, you cannot be found and everything. Kau kira keluar dari radar sudah lah kita.
So where's the E in Kota Marudu? Memanglah ada E dalam, tapi mana elektronik dia, mana internet dia kan?
EA Sports to the game. So dalam tinada kata yang tidak bilang mau menghantam apabila si Kenny bercakap begitu tadi, because we are of course playing safe lah for sure, but of course ini sesi juga adalah untuk to empower voices to the big ups. So masalah di Kota Marudu selain daripada internet, kita selalu mengalami masalah air dan juga masalah karan. Yang semua yang basic in life.
Sebab itulah kami miskin lah.
Itu sebablah kami macam mau berpeluh ni. Kalau tiba-tiba tidak karan mati.
Ya
Macam how we gonna finish this?
Ya betul loh. Kalau kau tidak sebut
Coy. Knock on wood.
Jangan.
This is on the third part, so please jangan ada sangkut.
Nasib meja ni kayu.
That's what happened when I was in Kampung Timbang Batu giving a speech.
Itu dekat je. It's 10 minutes away, man.
10 minutes away. Then I'm giving a speech lah using
Mati
the
karan.
mic mati karan lah. Oh shit. Then we try to teriak lah. As long as the people listen to you, you keep on lah. So I was like shocked. How come the karan tiada stable, the water tadi pagi mandi pun tiba-tiba tiada air. Mengamuk saja.
So that's one of one of many lah.
Yeah, it's said that this kind of thing become a normal thing in Kota Marudu. It shouldn't be normal. It
shouldn't be.
Yeah.
So let's just kupas sikit about quite recent happened. I think 2 months back. Kota Marudu almost a month tidak air.
It does like a few months
you
back.
Remember, a few months back, almost a month. In my house saja, I think coming to almost, I think more than 2 weeks dah. Waktu during that time, I think kita punya saliran sama kan
Yes,
during that time.
Same. Yeah,
Luckily waktu tu kau ada tangki, kau ada isi. Sebenarnya sampai habis sudah, because saya ada anak and everything kan. So what I can see is like, okay, this is the thing. I'm sorry, tapi I think my voice has to. I think semua voice kita perlu dengar lah. Siapa-siapa perlu dengar lah ya. Apabila kita dapat notice akan mengatakan di situ, okay, pada pukul begini akan tiada air, sehingga kerja selesai.
No deadline.
So we are talking. Okay, we speaking to engineer juga depan kita. So saya bukan engineer, tapi I do know yang engineer will set the time. Okay, this distance to this distance untuk dapat itu pipe adalah begini. Itu pipe need to order from KL for something, akan sampai dalam masa 3 hari for example lah. And then sampai sini the engineer will fly begini-gini. So you actually can estimate bila dia boleh habis and the water can run smoothly right after that. But up until now we only have yang akan diselesaikan begitulah, without deadline lah.
Sort of that phrase is for their convenience.
Macam sehingga kerja selesai. Bukan kita faham kamu penat. Memang begitulah tanggungjawab. I mean memang begitu tanggungjawab dia. Bila orang ada, I think don't take it out of context lah. Janganlah terlampau sensitif sangat bila orang cakap begini. I mean this is the issue in Kota Marudu.
It is what it is.
You government, non-government, dia tetap perlu air dan perlu semua ni lah. Basic needs lah.
Ya betul. Humans lah.
So itu yang berlaku bagi saya. It's ridiculous. Sepatutnya kau boleh taruh sana masa pada pukul begini, ataupun daripada tarik ini sampai tarik ini tiada. Kau cakaplah sana 1 bulan. At least we know what to do. So meaning to say, kalau 1 bulan we are going to get a water supplies yang mencukupi. Contohnya belilah apa yang patut. We are going to eat food panda saja. Restoran pun tutup, bro. Restoran pun banyak tutup because there's no water. So sampai kami Next week, I mean this weekend kita lari pergi KK lah, rumah di KK. So pergi KK lah. So feel a bit macam city and urban and feel tidak masalah lah.
Yeah.
So kenapa KK saya tidak masalah? so
Ada yang terbeli tangki lagi sekali
Yes.
tengok the next week dia okay sudah.
Yeah.
And people are preparing for like the longest term.
Yeah, so
Preparing for the worst sudah.
what happened?
Yeah.
Like me myself, saya mau beli ni air ni, Lasas satu tangki 100 dorang jual lah. Last time,
Wow.
100 satu tangki. Ya, itu dari the smallest tan lah. So, okay, dorang hantar sudah bayar 100. Besok dia ada air. Sakit hati 100 is a lot. So doesn't matter. Cuma I'm not to objectify lagi juga lah of the water racket and everything. Where is the water enforcement? Ini air datang dari bumi, it's free. We are paying taxes, we are paying the bills and everything.
Yeah.
So why don't you, why don't the siapa-siapa lah pergi kampung-kampung yang dorang boleh capai ni, bring the water and supply it. Reinforce, kasi masuk di tangki dorang for free. We are waiting for that sebenarnya during the time kan, tapi lasa semua orang masing-masing pergi one of these place ini, Jabatan Air ada bagi untuk orang datang masuk apa semua untuk ambil air apa
Itu
semua.
pun bayar sebenarnya.
Itu pun sila bayar. And then dia punya queue punya panjang.
Astaga.
Ada yang orang sewa tu lori 1 jam saja, dia belum sampai dia punya turn, ada 10 lagi kereta, tapi mau habis sudah disewa ke lori. Kalau dia habis 1 jam saja, dia ingat terus boleh dapat.
Alalah,
One of my friend lah.
sian.
Yeah, so basic needs, internet. Why internet is very important right now, even though now is the era of social medias. And I think siapa dan who doesn't take the advantage out of this, rugi bagi saya. Why kita sampai ada 5G sekarang, I don't know, mungkin mau 10G sudah nanti coming to the future and didn't fully utilize that. So apabila itu orang bercakap-cakap megah-megah, banyak ni network sudah offer 5Gs and everything. Tapi kami tak sampai pun macam mana. It's like okay, Unify, kau ada di Unify di Kota Merdu, tapi dia dah sampai rumah kau, yang sampai rumah kau 1 Mbps je. So buat apa?
Rugi.
I mean, kau bayar Unify tapi kau punya connection begitu.
Dial up.
So I believe that this should be fixed long time ago. Long time ago sudah kena fix di benda-benda begini. Especially macam begini 5 minit mau sampai dari sini sudah got problem online and network and everything. Kita banyak bukit saya boleh pasang pencawang and everything kan.
Ya, boh.
But adakah kita ini memarahi siapa-siapa? Tidak. We just want to voice out that this is the real fact that is happening right now. Probably kamu punya opinion sendiri, dan after kamu tengok di YouTube ataupun dia went viral on TikTok, whatever it is, kamu pandai lah kau cakap. Kalau kau tahu kau jadi wakil rakyat lah. Kan mungkin ini biasa man. Susah lah gini, kamu sikit-sikit terus kamu lah inilah itulah. Kamu terus cancel bah. This cancel culture has been a problem to everybody to that want to raise a voice lah.
Betul.
Cancelling culture. Kau tak pun mau dengar and see the facts and everything. What is your point of view after kau beberapa hari di
I think one of the what I learned in multinational company lah, when things happen like this kan, you need to have a immediate action, and then you need to have a corrective action.
Okay.
And also the long term solution lah. I mean, you cannot just simply set nanti siaplah baru kami kasih tahu like that. Tidak boleh kan.
Terlampau laid back lah.
Terlampau laid back. I mean, you need to at least give a time
frame lah.
Time frame. Like for example, this gonna be resolved within 3 days, and then during that 3 days, you need to have some sort of action to help the users. I tell you one story lah in Infinity Tech last time.
Okay.
The electric supply, the power supply shot for 0.0001 second.
Okay.
And the company lost 400k euro.
Goodness me.
Yeah, 0.0001.
Tak sampai 1 second pun.
Tak sampai 1 second.
Okay.
And then the kena last warning our power supply punya manager, because when the electricity in Malaysia drop, our power plant should have a mechanism to suddenly change to the
lower that down
power
to the power generator power, something like that.
Okay.
But the time frame, the 0.001 cannot be accepted. It must be very efficient. You know, German culture, they're very accurate.
Yeah, accurate.
So that's German culture, you know. They are very data driven. They are very
numbers lah.
numbers and efficient
Fact,
people. Even in their culture, their language, when we speak to them lah, if saya tanya kau panas kah sana Kota Marudu? Kau cakap panas juga. But the German people, they will say, yeah, it's hot. It's like 32 degrees like that.
Yeah,
they put in their every conversation pun numbers. So it's very important for them to be accurate. So in our country, the enforcement, like you said, must have these three things. The immediate action, the corrective action, and how to avoid this thing happen again in the future. Takkanlah benda jadi kan pisang berbuah 2 kali, you still need to do it.
Oh, kami berapa kali ini sudah bertahun-tahun lah. This is dari kecil punya masalah lah.
And the leadership need to take action lah for the local council to do things in a proper way. I think it's really a basic needs lah. It's really surprisingly, I mean, when you are in Kota Marudu kan.
Okay.
But this is not the first time I'm in Kota Marudu lah. But every time I'm here kan, like time kau mau sakit perut tu kan tiba-tiba
situ lah lama.
Ada air.
And then you have to wait until like half an hour like that. Then only
Ada air
like that.
Tai sudah keras.
Lepas tu susah lah kan. That's the thing. Then man, macam teruk. So kalau kau tengok di sini Kota Marudu bukan tiada sungai pun, banyak sungai.
Ya, banyak kok tu.
And also gravity also very good sini tau. Gravity.
When we go to Kampung Gana kan, I saw the very beautiful river, the cross the jambatan kan, and I was like, hey, ada sungai pun, Serinsei and all kan. There's a lot but actually, tapi it require creativity lah, I think, and a lot of lobbying lah to the government, to the federal especially kan, and also to the state government. I think.
Tapi it can be done. It can be done. Yeah. Especially because it's berbuah berkali-kali kan.
Yeah.
It can
Boleh
be
jual
done.
sudah tu.
Boleh jual.
And so many red tapes. In order to get something done.
Yeah, and when you talk about internet connectivity, right? I was like talking to one of the youths lah just now in kedai makan. Then I said, what do you guys do for a living and all? Then she said, I'm doing the pasang-pasang telco, dia bilang, for wherever district that macam Maxi suruh pasang and all, or DG or apa, for 5G dia cakap. I see, interesting saya cakap. So dia cakap saya bawa semua orang kampung saya, dia bilang di kampung Krokom. And then dia bilang saya bawa orang kampung saya and give them a job, then kami buat pasang, then how much per pasang lah, dia bilang depends lah on the location and all, dia cakap, and then it's around 5,000 to 6,000 dia bilang, and we bagi by 4 people, dia bilang dia panjat the pencawang and all. To pasang. Then I was like, the talent from Kota Marudu was asked to pasang the 5G in Kunak or in Tawau or in Ranau Tambunan, and then how come in their own place got no 5G? That's my question in my heart, but I don't want to macam offend to them. I was like, you guys going too far away to Kunak to pasang this one kah? Saya bilang, ya loh, dia bilang, but here saya bilang 20 minutes away pun tiada internet sudah. Saya bilang, itulah dia bilang, tapi itulah bang, dia bilang, apa boleh buat, kami kena suruh pasang sana, dia bilang, pergi je lah cari makan, dia bilang. So it's a talent. It's a waste of talent.
Yeah, waste of talent.
Because they are the contractors that been trusted by some main contractors to pasang the thing kan, and they have the talent tau, from Kota Marudu. Tapi sayang lah.
Marudu apa juga.
Well, oh man, bigger picture is coming, like all the picture are getting cinematic here, man. But
like iPhone 14.
Macam saya cakap lah, it's a hard truth lah. Hard truth, what is going on. Probably bukan di Kota Marudu saja, tapi as Kota Marudu been stated yang paling the poorest in Malaysia. Economically probably. Saya dah bercerita juga tentang kami pernah banter ni many times on our podcast before, what we want to have in Kota Marudu, because Kota Marudu is actually okay, begini ya bro, kau this is the picture. Kalau saya lah, bila orang mau datang Kota Marudu kan, yo bro, jom minggu ni kami datang, sudah habis kami round satu Sabah ni kan. Minggu depan kami mau pergi Kota Marudu bro. Okay bro, apa ada di Kota Marudu? Ndak payah pergi. Kami ada 3 benda saja di sini nih. Tiada air, tiada internet, sama tiada elektrik.
Ada satu saja lah, itu Tugu Jagung sana di belakang Dewan Komuniti itu.
So okay, tiada apa-apa di Kota Marudu. I don't know what to tell. I don't know, ada museum ke, ada perpustakaan negeri ke, ada university ke, ada library ke, ataupun ada pusat macam hub ke di Kota Marudu. Tiada. Ya memang betul ada tempat yang cantik, tapi it was not developed. Memang ada UNESCO yang bekas train lama apa semua dia semua. Yes, tapi how to get dia pun susah. Berjam-jam mau jalan kaki apa semua. We need to say memang ada, tapi people can do. Takkan kau cakap Sorin Sim. Sorin Sim for me is very beautiful. Sebab dia daripada nemu Yukong, dia sejuk sebelah panas, dia berjumpa jadi sini jadi suam. I love it so much. Tapi mau pergi sana, tempat kami pun ada air terjun, dia bilang. So what can you tell in Kota Marudu? I don't know what to. At least For me lah, kalau saya not to say
kau mau bertanding. Sorry.
No, probably in the future.
We never know.
We never know
kan? Tiba-tiba.
What I'm saying, there's something we should be proud of in Kota Marudu in term of yang orang mau datang jalan-jalan lah.
Touristy.
So saya pernah bercakap, kami pernah banter lah. Saya mau ada mall di sini. By having a mall, the investor gonna come in. There's a lot of job opportunities gonna be open. Banyak orang akan balik ke sini. The Grab culture gonna start. The Food Panda is getting wider. There's stalls and everything. The economy will circulate lah. And then Kenny from second kau mau ada hub kan for the youngsters ya.
So sort of like a hub for youngsters to do their things macam gitu. Bukan macam mau ada satu Giatmara begitu saja. We really want like a hub,
youth hub lah.
So to do whatever that they want to do, and there's a support for them. So in sort of looking at all this, macam other than empowering farmers and all those basic needs kan, is there any plans for like tourism and all that in Kota Marudu?
That's why when I was talking to the team lah, when we want to do the manifesto and all kan, and I was like feel like sad lah, the tourism culture is not being kena kasih masuk. Then I talked to them lah. I said, Kota Marudu is like when you go to KB kan, and you go to Kudat, it's in the middle bah. But people just pass by to Kudat because why? Because they want to see Simpang Mengayau and all lah. Or maybe they want to go KB because of Mantanani and all. And then they never put Kota Marudu in their schedule or in their calendar. It's sad lah. And
as a pit stop or something, man.
Pit stop something because nothing attracted for them because nobody paying attention that tourism also is a kind of way to circulate the economy. So it's really sad because once upon a time I was informed that there is a festival Konba here kan. But now I see the Kon pun macam musom-musom kuku saja and all. Then I think we need to like empower lah, to be honest, this tourism culture also. Place like Muar, for example. I think before YB Syed Saddiq become the MP there, I think nobody really pay attention on what actually special things about Muar. But you see now Muar kan, the people know Muar because of the perabot industry, and then people know more because of the food, the specialty of the food, about the nelayan punya tempat. There's a lot of other things that he promoted lah because of he's very social media friendly lah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think for a leader, when tourism is being empowered, people start to come and people start to buy locally things. You see, when I went to Matunggung just now, I bought this yang gelang tu sama tu rantai tu kan. Nanti kau buat sendiri kan ni? Dia bilang, buat sendiri.
So handmade lah.
Yeah, handmade. Then I was impressed lah because my son, the first son kan, dia ada macam autism sikit bah. So he like to do all those kind of things.
Alright.
So then I feel sad lah because this kind of beautiful art have to be sold in a pasar bah. I mean, beautiful art should be placed in a very gallery or something.
A mall or something.
This tembaga punya gelang tu pasang sini, handsome juga pakai begitu kan. Tapi why don't we kasih promote it lagi, kasih naik lagi, or maybe put a hub like what you said kan, hub yang boleh craft tangan punya orang boleh datang. At least especially the people in Matunggung kan, rungus people can go there and do their craft tangan and people will at least attracted crowd bah untuk datang.
That's why I'm saying this is talking about tourism and culture to empower them lah sebagai attraction di Kota Marudu. Because kalau mau cakap gunung, tiada gunung, sungai pun semua pun ada sungai. But I always believe there's a way to do this. For example, what happened like in Japan, the aesthetic they took it to the next level, very serious. For example, they do a logo like a big one. Kalau di sini kau buat kau kacau habis. Bagus sih kau bagi orang di kampung tangki daripada kau buat logo. But they don't know by having a big orang cakap apa ni tugu okay. By having a big tugu, for example lah, tugu panjang sini there's a okay, don't talk about the corn lah. Okay, that is something really I don't know
maybe a mascot lah kan, macam Mori ada mascot dia gitu.
Yeah, whatever like for example like, artistic punya lah yang abstract lah, for example kan. A very big one like macam 2-3 stories lah, for example.
I get you. Yes.
Okay, let's say kau buat begitu kan. Yeah, dia mungkin costly, maybe 100,000 probably. Lepas tu kau bayar lagi designer to do it maybe from France or something like that. Yet it's Instagrammable, one thing. Ini secara anu dia lah, secara general lah. Tapi by doing so it went everywhere. People di mana ni di mana? Okay, ini belum ada lain-lain tempat di Kota Marudu. Kota Marudu kita pergilah, mau bergambar situ saja. No. It's a very simple thing. Tapi people get to know, dia terus ada di map. You know, ada station orang pergi Waze mau pergi sana just for the logo, just for the tugu. People take it simple. Tapi in Japan they do it as a macam saya cakap lah, dia jadi people want to start going there to invest there. Lepas tu start lah ada buat kitchen. Itu tugu jadi kitchen, jadi t-shirt. That's how it grow. So Kota Marudu tiada. Okay. And also kalau pasal pesta corn ni and everything ni, saya rasa ini masa dorong meeting. Okay, Kota Marudu kami corn. Kota Marudu dah banyak corn pun. No. Kalau kubis I agree. Kerana memang banyak kubis. Tapi banyak juga sayur lain kan. Kelapa yang kudat. I mean bukan juga keluar sebesar pun. I mean what I'm saying, okay, macam rumbia di apa semua kan di pesta lepa-lepa semua, but it's a good thing because it promoting the culture punya untuk orang attract untuk datang. But better than that lah. Because bila jadi ini in a humor punya sense pula, bila kau buat Ratu Jagung, banyak jagung dorang pakai di baju dorang. Okay. I mean until berapa banyak kau taruh jagung seriously ya? Seriously man.
Serious kah?
Yes, Ratu Jagung aja. I'm not joking. I mean until that extent kah?
I didn't know.
So now let's imagine pesta kelapa. I mean saya bukan objectify. It's a good thing to promote, tapi kasih kasih the sustainability dia kena lebih baik lah, dia punya cost dia perlu lebih baik dan perlu besar lah, termasuk especially the young Gen Z right now. Gen Z sekarang dorang kalau dorang kecam habis, but when they hook terus.
Betul.
So balik kepada di Kota Marudu tadi, macam kini ada cakap pasal hub and everything. One of our podcaster si Fazal dia cakap saya mau ada universiti di sini, dia cakap Kota Marudu. So by universiti kan orang sudah scattered lah, di KK pergi UiTM atau pergi UMS ataupun kalau pergi Tawau pergi vocational and everything apa semua. Tapi bayangkan kalau ada di utara ni satu universiti, people gonna start go here. The whole Malaysia gonna start go here. International pun ada student. By having that, semua pun akan berkembang pelan-pelan di sekeliling dia. The economy gonna start growing. Ada mall. Sekarang orang pecah-pecah tanah, tapi tu tanah nak pandai siap-siap tu kompleks.
4 kali pecah tanah kata.
I'm not gonna sorry. I'm not gonna sentuh itulah because Kota Marudu antara supply yang paling besar produk sukan, yang terbaik. Bila dia keluar yang terus baik. For example, Rawilson Batuil, Sabah punya is from ini adik dia pun Rawilson. Banyak playing for Academy Youth for JDT juga. Macam Mawi anak-anak. Mawi anak sedikit playing for JDT 4 last time lah. Lepas tu dia start from there lah growing playing. And also dari segi talent, penyanyi ke artistik punya line lah. And thinker as well. Banyak macam Tuan Andro, started buat buku. At least dia buat buku. Ada orang just can think but cannot just there. So apabila orang tanya di Kota Marudu, to all the listeners atau viewers sana, mungkin kamu boleh kecam saya di komen. Tapi that's the ugly truth. That's the ugly truth, man.
Silakan.
That's the ugly truth. Macam mana kita mau cakap di Kota Marudu ada apa? For example, hub makanan lah. Hub satu tempat ni, dia hawker saja. Dia restoran saja. Dia kiri kanan yang orang boleh, okay, kau pergi jalan, contohlah jalan Kenny, di sana semua kiri kanan semua hawkers. Kau boleh pilih yang apa semua ada jenis makanan.
Ini tapi survey lah.
Jangan sebut lagi, nanti kita kasih promote lagi survey.
Sorry.
So I mean, saya because of that saya rasa macam sangat anulah. Saya berkecil hati lah because bila kena kapu, I have to agree to disagree.
Ya, betul.
Yeah.
So
itulah, it's true.
Yeah,
True kan? Agree.
Yeah. So this is in hoping that you know.
You know, I share my experience lah.
Okay.
Because I the first student for University of Malaysia Perlis.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So,
what do you call that? UMP?
Unimap.
Unimap. Okay.
It's recently been called Unimap. Before this, it's been called College University Kejuruteraan Utara Malaysia.
Okay.
So it's like
Kuito.
Kukum. Okay.
Kukum.
So because I'm a quite not excellent student last time during my SPM.
Alright.
Then then I was kena buang di sana lah. I said di College University because I think I like doing programming and stuff. Then they send me there because I think other university don't want to ambil yang suam-suam kuku punya SPM kan. And punya matriculation punya result. So never mind. Then I went there. I adapt with the people, the Utara punya language, and I started to realize Perlis is like sunyi gila bahasa sana. Orang bilang boring gila lah, boring. And then kita orang Sabah biasa happy kan. So bila happening. Then bila sampai sana kan, then when University Malaysia Perlis there, Kukum, then it started to grow, you know, because orang dari luar start to come and all the shop lot yang kosong, we rent it out to become a university school.
Lots
lah. Because you know you don't need to wait until you have a proper building. Only you can do a college community or something, but you just rent out a shop lot, then rent out a housing yang kosong masih to become asrama. That's how it started, you know. Then until dia pecah tanah in Pauh lah, but I already graduated.
Dah sempat
lah. So when recently I went there kan, because they invited me lah. So I went there, then I said to my ex-lecturer, I said I tidak pernah merasa lah, saya bilang yang kamu bangunan besar-besar gempak-gempak ni, because we are started
tak pernah merasa lah.
Ada rasa lah yang macam tu yang orang bilang yang dulu-dulu di kedai-kedai tapi at least
tapi the economy grow kan?
Yeah, economy grow.
You can
shop
see.
lot start to people start buying in shop lot and all. And so it's really booming the economy in one way lah. So itulah yang people start to find what's happening in Kuala Perlis. Even the stupid thing, just sitting in the tepi pantai. That's their hiburan there. Then we just follow lah. I mean, so I think, itulah at least kan, it's start to happening ba. It's the same thing lah here. I mean, I don't know. If I'm not mistaken, I just saw the college community something also in Kota Marudu.
Yes.
But I think we need
shop lot juga.
Shop lot juga. I need to empower more lah. I mean, and apa yang diajarkan tu pun kalau boleh sesuai dengan locality lah. I mean, what's the locality here, agriculture or whatever. So just help them lah to at least they can keluar and become somebody ba.
Takkan gitu. Kimpalan.
But Kimpalan also is a good thing.
Maybe more onto agriculture stuff.
And I think Kimpalan also all the TVET ba. Because
TVET, yes.
I believe one thing I believe lah, and also I realize because one of our Muda Sabah Timbalan Pengusaha Faizra, he's the programmer also. So he have this one software house in KK. So what she did is actually develop these kids to become a programmer within 6 months like that. So 6 months and they become coders already, can become programmers.
Wow.
And our university system is like too long ba, 4 years.
Panat
ba, then masuk matrik 2 tahun. too
basic
Yeah.
Lantas keluar yang basic saya dia boleh buat.
And people are turned off by that.
And it's like only like macam 10% that what you learn in university you apply in your real life. So it's really to me kan, sometimes I look at it like, for example, I give one example lah. The CEO of AgriData, one of our co-founder lah, Matthew. So Matthew, he sekolah menengah in UK bah. So when he finish study in Norwich or something kan, I forgot which university, but he only like 21, 22. And then now, because of his talent in talking and very confident and all kan, so you become the CEO of the company because I want to join politics and all. And then he joined kan, and he's very matured and all. Then I can see the comparison between the people in Sabah and him because of the different educational background.
Yes.
Yeah, they matured fast. And they graduated fast also.
Betul.
We graduated 25, 26.
Yeah.
We apa tu, sayang lah tu 4 tahun or 3 tahun.
Such a gap.
Such a gap lah. It's a waste of time. So actually youths are fast learner. You need to really focus on whatever their needs kan. Then you know. That's why I like the Tibet things. I mean, there's one two of my staff. Actually, I got few staff from Kota Marudu also. And
good to know.
And I have this OKU staff. They go to learn kimpalan, and then a lot of things that need to kimpal in our need to welding kan in our farm. They do lah, and they actually OKU. They're deaf. They cannot listen to you lah. I mean, we talk in sign language or in WhatsApp, something like that lah. But if OKU can do a welding stuff, how come a normal person cannot do lah? So I mean, at least you need to have some sort of skills lah. I mean, that can be applied in the real life. So itulah. I think I agree that university should be at least a high education lah. I mean, we have already college community, but maybe we can still do more lah to the education system, especially.
Alright, man.
In order to like empower the community and the economy around it as well.
And I agree also about the youth hub because okay, ni panjang cerita ni, kontroversi juga actually. YB said Sadiq actually do the more youth hub in
kan?
Now, but now it become Tunku Ismail Youth Hub lah.
Okay lah.
You know lah. Then in Johor he started it. He fight in parliament for the youth hub for the more kids.
And it's useful and been used up until now. Especially for the youth.
So for me, I told him, then it's changed name already. He said it's okay. I mean, as long as the people, the youth of Muar can benefit from it.
Wow, what a sacrifice.
Doesn't really mean who want to claim it or use their name. We don't mind.
It's all about the end product, how they utilize it and how it's being utilized. Because bila pergi hub tu, kau ada internet yang tidak unlimited, for example. Kau di sana kau boleh berbincang, ada mentor yang akan bantu kau kalau kau business kau begini. And like macam tadi kita segue sikit, macam kau cakap tadi pasal macam mana orang lebih matured.
Agree.
Di sana dan di sini tidak lambat.
I add one more thing. Sorry.
No problem. Interject, please.
The youth hub tidak semestinya mau megah-megah dia punya bangunan. In Singapore, when I was in Infinite Singapore last time, then I met this one friend lah, teacher. Then he said, "You like art, right?" I said, "Yeah, I like art." Actually, one of the thing that other than coding that I like is actually art, and that's why I'm always called. If you see my Twitter, I said I'm a farming artist because I like art. And then I went to this one place. It's a ex-school that already want to be demolished lah by the Singapore government. But the youth, they fight for it so that the building tidak kena demolish. They call it all school for the young generation thinkers. So the school actually they put macam theatre room. They change it to theatre room. People selling T-shirt. Local indie rock and roll group also doing their jual rock music di sana and do the live gig there. And then started to do all merchandise, local merchandise, Singaporean merchandise, art books, novel, and also macam a lot of art activities lah, music and all lah. So I realized, then I was like, hey, it can be done. It's just an old school. It's really an old school. They just convert it to become an art space. So they call it old school for the young generation thinkers. Yeah, so it's just it can be done. Tidak semestinya the hub need to be
kena buat baru
building beratus juta kan. You just need to be creative lah. I mean, they use an old buildings also can become a hub kan. So I was surprised lah. Then I was like, oh shit, you guys can do this. Then they said when they start the youth movement, they start to do that. Diorang macam orang bilang mula-mula tu sakit lah juga kan. Tapi when the government when it become a tourist attraction, people start to come, and the government start to realize, hey, this thing can make money. So the government start to invest in them. So that's how it started lah the thing.
How we roll, how we build up lah. That's the thing. That's why kita cakap tu tiga benda. One of it is the youth hub, the university ataupun perpustakaan negeri tapi di Kota Marudu, you know, and then ada hub dekat something like that for youngsters untuk tuition or whatever it is, and also a mall di sini, investors coming in and everything. Rotation sudah start and going, and by having so, kalau kau ada masalah-masalah isu-isu yang berlaku, kau akan cepat dapat kena cancel, which is the cancelling culture ni ada pro and cons dia. Bila kau kena begitu, kau akan started to, hey, kita kena beli tiada air ni, kita beli tiada elektrik ni, satu mall mati ni, you know, satu mall bising ni, you know, stuff like that. Satu university bising ni, satu hub, you know, like that lah.
Things start to get more efficient around here.
Oh man.
Yeah, I really love that when you mentioned the Singapore youth. I can't see how it can be applied.
Yeah,
really.
Orang lama sudah start doing this. Di Barat sudah lama. Kan bilang Barat, Korea or Japan
kita
sudah ada ni benda.
Yang bagus tu duit kasih simpan di sini.
Bagus. Jangan kau bahaya, kau berani.
Sini ke sana. Takut. Sorry.
We are coming to the end of our podcast lah. Saya pun kena hormat juga kita punya wakil rakyat. I have to say wakil rakyat because dia mewakili rakyat kan.
Saya mau panggil Datuk sudah.
Dalam Parti Muda. So dia sudah dari pagi sudah pergi pasar di Matunggung and everything up until now.
Pusing-pusing
dari mata dia pun kita dapat nampak
Tandik
macam mau heavy sudah. But
I'm okay lah. I'm okay.
You okay? Okay. We're gonna go teka-teki before dia bagi dia punya kata-kata terakhir lah.
Yes.
This is the last game lah. This is called teka-teki. We gonna give you teka-teki. We just gonna game. This is yang kami trending on TikTok lah because of teka-teki.
Nggak boleh tengok lah. Ada kertas lah. Tapi itulah. Jadi
banyak kambing. Kambing apa yang pandai terbang, bro?
Wina.
Gila juga. Apa ini?
Kambing boleh terbang. Wah, saya tak tahu, matilah.
Kambing yang naik atas kapal terbang lah yang harus terbang.
Silaka kalau itu.
Okay. Banyak kambing. Kambing apa yang tiada kaki?
Kambing lagi. Tiada kaki. Kambing cacat lah kali ya.
Lamb chop.
Astaga,
aduh. Saya lagi lah.
Jahat bang, punya tegi-tegi ni.
Okay. Sorry, saya lagi lah. Tapi saya bagi yang senang lah.
Okay.
Kau bagi susah terus bang.
Mana ada senang dia betul? Kambing siapa pun.
Ada banyak bata. Bata apa yang tidak nampak?
Batapok.
Okay, good one.
Mesti bagi chance. Satu lagi lah. Sebanyak pam air.
Kini sampai dia print, no? Okay.
Saya suruh adik itu.
Okay.
Sebanyak pam air. Pam apa yang tidak boleh diterima pakai?
Pam air di Kota Marudu. Wah. Oops. Okay, salah. Okay.
Pam yang tidak boleh diterima pakai?
Iya.
Pumping.
Pam Kota Marudu lah. Lagi lah.
Pumpkin alamat saya.
Alamak.
Pumpkin boleh makan.
Okay, apa asi?
Asi, okay. Pam buyuk.
Astaga. Jahat.
Siap.
Okay, that's a good one.
Kau dah.
Ada. Banyak kucing.
Wina.
Kucing apa yang sangat sweet?
Kucing taimu kali.
Ya,
Betul lah ni kali.
Terbaik.
Kucing sebenarnya dia kucing taimu seumur hidup. Kau ada lagu
Oh
lah.
shit man.
Alright.
Kira Serizal ni
Nasib ada juga lah. Ada juga lah.
romantik lah.
Alright. Bagus.
Romantik lah kau ni.
Banyak besi. Besi apa yang sweet?
Bersinta lah kali.
Bersinta. Good one. Okay, ada kan?
Baik, ada. Nah, banyak batu. Batu apa yang tidak kena panas?
Macam mana mau jawab ni? Buat tidak kena panas. Batu.
Asyik.
Okay.
Batu pi. Aduh.
Saya balik lah ni.
Jangan.
This actually correct. Okay.
Siap.
Banyak ayam.
Ayo.
Ayam apa yang baru dia besar?
Belum lagi dia.
Dia ketawa sendiri sudah. Apa ini? Paru dia besar?
I am me. I am beautiful.
Astaga.
I am sexy. Kan besar kan tu?
Aduh DSB.
Ini dia.
Aduh lama.
Kenapa yang sebut?
Nanti saya kasih sensor tadi.
If you know. Okay.
Ada. Saya ada sini.
Okay.
Sebanyak kad. Ya, kad apa yang banyak barang-barang atau hadiah?
Kad banyak barang hadiah. Kad kawin lah kali.
Wih, betul juga.
Betul lah. Ya kan? Ya.
Boleh diterima pakai, tapi ada jawapan yang lagi betul.
Okay, apalah?
Kadai. tapi yang tadi itu okey
juga.
Kan bertalam-talam juga.
Ya. Tapi kalau spotnya sama betul. Kadai jual hadiah. Kadai mungkin jual bunga.
Segala kadai lah.
Saya mau kasih setting dulu.
Setting. Banyak bayi, bro.
Alamak.
Bayi apa yang menakutkan?
Bayi yang menakutkan. Bayi apa ni?
Bayi hantu. Hantu punya bayi lah.
Apa ni? Tadi bikin paning, sekarang direct.
Iyalah. Begitulah.
Mau balik malam ni, nanti ada bayi hantu kan.
Coy.
Macam pernah nampak tak? Okay. Ada. Swing. Okay.
Sebanyak baju. Baju apa yang kadang-kadang rugi, kadang-kadang untung?
Baju ging lah. Dia tahu betul.
Tidak. Hampir.
Baju. Kadang-kadang untung, kadang rugi. Baju empat.
Ya kan, jumpa jodoh kadang-kadang tidak kan?
Spesifik kau fikir pasal jodoh kan?
Mana tahu. Tapi yang betul dia bajudi.
Astaga.
Betul tau.
Sorry,
Betul. Okay. Banyak pen. Pen apa yang menakutkan?
Bukan pen hantuan.
Bukan.
Kita jadi cautious lah.
Pen. Pen apa? Pen.
Pandemic.
Astaga. Aduh.
Sorry bro. Okay. Banyak bos. Bos apa yang ada di mana-mana di Sabah?
Bosku, bukan.
Dia tidak ada di mana-mana di Sabah. Okay.
Bosing.
Boleh terima.
Yes.
Boso.
Boso apa? Vegetarian?
Apa-apalah. Boso pisang. Sedap tu. Okay.
Banyak calon.
Alright. Okay. Betul kan soalan ni?
Yeah,
Okay,
betul.
alright.
Banyak calon. Calon siapa yang kita kena pilih?
Wah, mudah lah.
Confirm lah.
Wah, itu bukan kata gitu.
Hey.
Itu fact. Alright. Banyak boots.
Bahaya ni.
Boots apa yang lembik dan boleh dimasuk di mulut?
Okay, saya surrender ni kali tau.
Aku jawab lah buton.
Buton dia. Boots tons.
Siapa yang otak kuning ni? Saya yang otak kuning.
Siapa ya? Okay, the other side of Syarizal lah. Okay, alright. Banyak. Alamak ini.
Ya, kira bro, kau memang cool lah bro. Boleh santai dan chill.
You got atau okay, last one.
Right.
Kalau bulan jadi matahari, matahari jadi bulan, malam jadi siang, siang pula jadi malam, bintang dan bumi jadi apa?
Ini macam romantik ini.
Bintang dan bumi jadi
kiamat. Okay.
Saya mau cakap jadi saksi.
baru mau nyanyi kan.
Wow, man. Three parts yang sangat inspiring.
Very
interesting, very inspiring. And I just love the idea of Syarizal and his community.
Yes.
And
I like his idea of youth empowerment.
Yes.
The ideas he want to bring on the table.
Yeah, and what the youth should be thinking lah.
Yeah,
kan?
betul,
Right now.
betul. Yeah.
I'm gonna
I like
give
it.
you a space. We respect you. You need your rest and everything. You know what? These particular things going on right now, kan? He might be the next CM. He might be the next PM. You know.
Yeah.
So it is an honor, lah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a space
Surely an honor.
to our listeners, whatever you want to say in terms of agriculture ataupun empowerment ataupun leadership dan voicing out, share your thought, man.
Yeah, to me, for youth, especially in Kota Marudu, you need to have a courage lah to do whatever things that you like to do. Yeah, regardless of agriculture or you want to be a football player or you want to be a leader of tomorrow, you need to have courage and go all out.
Go big or go home lah ni.
Yeah, go big or go home. Yeah, if you believe in something, you just keep on doing it, and the universe will conspire lah for you to do it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. No worries.
Food of
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah.
Wina.
Food of thought. Because we start balik politik ni. Because we start we started Muda by only 30 people discussing about it. And look at Muda now lah. We have 80,000 members in the whole Malaysia.
And menang lagi.
Menang
lagi di Johor. One seat lah. Okay.
So if you really believe in something lah, you just go for it. Orang cakap kau orang kampung kah, orang cakap kau orang susah kah, tapi if you believe in something, you just keep on doing it. Don't give up lah. Yeah.
Alright, man. Thanks you so much for that. Before we end the part, regarding to whatever you're saying, probably the practical issues ataupun case study we can talk about is about breaching to the some rules and law and the regulations and rights or something like that lah. Saya nak mau cakap lah. But kadang-kadang people didn't voice out because diorang takut. Diorang takut walaupun diorang rasa betul, diorang takut siapa mau backup diorang. Di mana diorang punya hub untuk mau pergi. Kalau saya cakap begini betul, sudah saya rasa sudah salah ni. Tapi bila saya cakap ni kena hantam apa semua, tak payahlah cakap, you know. We gonna think about that. In the next podcast. Why not? Yeah, man. There's Syarizal gonna be here for long up until the election. And I'm gonna give you a stage scan to say to Syarizal and our listener.
Yeah, bro. Thank you so much for coming into our studio.
Thanks for having me.
Oh man. I like all the things that you shared. You know, from how you suddenly change field. Dari, you know, from there, and then you grow a business, and then you empower the people, and from there you become a leader, and you decide to, join into this huge band of youth and try to, work hard to change Malaysia to where it's supposed to be. I like the thought of that. I can see myself living in that future.
Thank you very much.
And with that thought, I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
And I wish you and your party all the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
For me, thank you for coming to the studio. One, number two, thank you for your thought that you shared to the listeners, to everybody, to the viewers. Don't take it out of context. If you take it out of context, you take it lah. Well, because this is time for us to be selfish to ourselves, to our thought, to our belief. We have to be selfish to our belief because of this is just how we can our voice to be heard.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's true.
Yeah.
Can I add that?
Yeah.
Because Usman Awang once said, he said, kalau bangsa ingin jadi besar, bangsa itu kena jadi kurang ajar.
Wow.
Usman Awang said that. I think we are too polite to people who
too respectful
to people yang
sedangkan
tekan kita tindas kita. So I think it's time us youth, it's not to disrespect lah, but to voice out and show them that we actually can do better.
Give us a chance.
Give us a chance.
And your time has done. I mean, you have developed, and we're thankful. We're thankful for that. What have you done to the countries and to the legislative, to the
law things,
law and order that you guys been yang built and yang sudah approve and yang kamu sudah banter di parlimen. You have done you're a legend to us. So give us a chance. Tiba-tiba ask lah. Give the youth a chance lah.
Yeah.
All right.
Agree.
Well, man, thank you so much, Rizal.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me.
1 hour on the third part, man. That's about it. I'm gonna take it long on this one.
It's worth.
Yes,
it's worth it.
I think that's about it, man. Penaja kami adalah Johan, orang kota baru tinggal Jepun.
Yeah, follow Johan's journey mempromosikan orang Jepun di YouTube.
Yes, subscribe, like dan juga share channel Lagu Dari Langit. Cari playlist sana orang kota baru tinggal Jepun dan tengoklah macam mana Aomori, keindahan Aomori di Jepun bersama Johan.
Ya betul. Untuk mengetahui lebih lanjut, layari www.kinabalupodcast.com hari ini.
Yes, saya Ricardo.
Saya Kenny.
Kami dari Kinabalu Podcast, the number one podcast in Sabah. Ciao, chin, ciao, ciao, bella, ciao.
Your systems are offline.
Kopi sinangan kumada kayo to insanan, yoho huguan, ontok timpo diki, makimangaw kau Kinabalu Podcast, podcast nomor 1 di Biswang Pamumunan Sabah.